say that it feels right.
Hey guys, welcome back for another Clash Royale video. So in today's video, we will be taking a look at some top ladder Lavaloon cycle gameplay shared by Doom, who is currently top 30 in the world right now with this deck, obviously. And yeah, before the video starts, don't forget to subscribe as well as like this video. It helps me and supports me to make more video. And don't forget to follow Doom as well. He does have a Twitter. And yeah, without further ado, let's jump right into the first replay. Okay, on to our first replay against Starlight, who is using Egiant. I think he was sniping Doom, because Egiant has a pretty good matchup against Lavaloon cycle. And yeah, let's see how Doom dealt with this matchup. Okay, so of course they're gonna do the Lava Hound first play move, and Inferno D to support the lava. Starlight will use the Egiant to block the Inferno D and to stun it. And now the balloon will get pulled by the Nado, because that's the only way to preserve the tower's health. Bombers played to chip away at the Egiant, and now Miner onto the Mother Witch. Dark Prince in response to Miner as well as the pups. And minions to support the Inferno D as well as the Bomber, because there isn't much response in Starlight's hand right now. And he played an awkward cage, which worked somehow. But yeah, Doom still has a small lead over Starlight. Plus, if you count in the King Tower damage that he got with the balloon, it's actually who Doom has the lead right now. And Infinity onto the balloon, which will deny the drop damage, but death damage will still get in. And now he plays the Bomber to kite the Infinity, and Starlight plays a Egiant, now Miner onto the tower to force out some response. Starlight actually played a Bomber, and Arrow comes down for the Bomber, and actually a question how he would defend this Egiant, or maybe he won't. Yep, he won't. And now he's gonna try to deal with the Dark Prince with minions, but unfortunately though the Dark Prince actually went in front of the Egiant. Now the balloon take down the tower, and yeah, they both tower traded, but Starlight got the strong side tower, and Doom is forced to go onto the weak side tower, strong side tower of Starlight, because he doesn't want Starlight to have a counter push on his weak side tower. And now balloons played behind the Lava Hound, minions to tank for the Inferno D. And now the Inferno D will probably kill Starlight's Inferno D and Miner onto the Mother Witch. Okay, Nado is played, but the balloon is still surviving, which will get a hit, which is pretty huge. And now a second balloon comes down, and Starlight only has a Mother Witch to try to chip away, but yeah, it's not going to be enough because it's balloon, and there's only 3 seconds left, and that's how you win against Egiant, which is actually a hard counter. Okay, on to our next game against a Chinese player who is playing Golem. And now Doom is going to do the same thing again, which is Lava first play. And now the opponent will apply pressure with the Bomber as well as Mini P.E.K.K.A. And Skeletons as well as Bomber to kite the Mini P.E.K.K.A, which is a very nice play. Now it's going to support the Lava Hound with an Inferno D. The opponent will go in with Golem at the back, because obviously he won't be able to defend this flawlessly. So might as well just tower trade with Doom. And minions are played as well as the balloon to try to force out arrows, but the opponent doesn't have any air counter right now, and yeah, the balloon is slowly getting towards the King Tower. And Doom plays Bomber as well as Skellies to try to DPS down the Golem, but not before the balloon as well as the pups got a lot of damage. Miner onto the opponent's Bomber, and Mini P.E.K.K.A is played because the opponent knows that Doom doesn't have any ground cards anymore. So that was actually a quite nice mini P.E.K.K.A. But Bomber will put in a lot of work on defense. And take a look at both sides King Tower's health. Doom does have the full health, and the Chinese player only has 1400 HP. And it's practically impossible for the opponent to deal with the Lava Hound pushes, because he doesn't have that much air counter except for the Night Witch's bats, as well as Mega Minion and arrows. Now minions will try to kill the Mother Witch, and arrows onto the bats. Zap is played onto the Inferno D to reset the incineration. And meanwhile, Lava Hound is actually chipping away at the King Tower. Bomber's played onto the Golemites to cycle, obviously, and arrow comes down for the Bomber. Balloon is played behind the Lava Hound once again, because the opponent won't be able to deal with this easily, and now the Lava Hound will actually take down the towers alongside the Balloon. So yeah, a pretty fast game against a Golem deck. Okay, on to our third game against Jazz. If you guys do remember who Jazz is, he is a two-time guest on the channel. And yeah, he's facing Doom playing RG. I mean, he's playing RG and Doom's playing Lava, and RG doesn't do all that much against Lava, so this is actually very a very funny game, because I was watching Doom play this live, and I told him Jazz was my friend. I knew him like last year, so yeah. But the first defense was actually quite nice by Jazz, using the Mother Witch as well as the Fisherman to kite and Dark Prince to protect the Mother Witch, because Doom doesn't have a Fireball or anything like that, and Fireball onto the Lava as well as the Minion and the Inferno D, allowing the Mother Witch to spawn some pigs. So yeah, like I said, the first defense was pretty nice, but after that, it's just a one-sided game. So Doom is back to another Lava again, and it's gonna Lava up on the right lane this time. And a cage is set up, but I don't think that will pull the Lava. I don't remember this already, because like I said, it's a week ago. And a Balloon as well as a Minion. Look at the Minion. The Minion was played to push the Balloon so that the Balloon could go to the tower instead of going for the cage. And now Inferno D onto the RG. So yeah, just like that, Jazz will actually lose his tower, and there's 1 minute and 20 seconds left for him. And then he still has to deal with the Inferno D. Ooh, that miner was to predict Dark Prince, which was pretty nice by Doom. I mean, he knew that Jazz would have to play a Dark Prince onto the Inferno D, so yeah, that's why he played the miner there. And yeah, things are looking good for Jazz right now. And now Doom will just Lava once again. And he's probably gonna play Balloon as well as Inferno D behind the Lava, because there's not much Jazz can do about it. And the cage was to allow the Balloon to go in front of the Lava, which was pretty nice, but not before the troops DPS down the cage. But the Balloon still went in front anyways. But it's actually quite weird that towers aren't targeting onto the Balloon. Instead, they targeted onto the Lava instead. And the bomb will actually take off the Mother Witch, so it was pretty nice. But the Balloon will get a shot onto the tower and bring it down the tower to below 1000. I mean King Tower. But there's only 10 seconds left for Jazz to do anything. And yeah, I don't think he can do anything now, because there's only 3 seconds. And yeah, he knew that this was a really bad matchup, and yeah, he wasn't really happy about it. Let's just put it that way. Okay, on to our next game against CS Love Marty, who's playing another Lava Hound deck. And he decides to go in with Balloon first play. And Doom is just gonna play minions onto it, and yeah, the opponent still has to deal with the minions, and he's just gonna Lava at the back. And now Bomber onto the Skami, which is pretty nice. And now the bomber will deal with the miner as well. So the opponent is down to quite a bit of elixir. Plays a Inferno D. Doom plays an Inferno D himself. And arrow comes down for the pops as well as the bomber, but take a look at Doom's and the opponent's elixir. So the opponent doesn't have much elixir, and Doom decides to go in with miner as well as the balloon. He can arrow the minions if he wants to, which he does, and yeah, the balloon is gonna get 2 shots at least. So yeah, and very nice opening play by Doom. No, he actually will get 3 shots taking down the tower. So yeah, things aren't looking pretty good for CS right now. It's only 1 minute into the game, and he already lost a tower, but it's Lava Hound, so anything could still happen. And the opponent decides to lava at the back. And plays a balloon behind the Lava Hound. And skeletons just to cycle to arrows, because he needs that to kill the pups. But he arrowed quicker. I mean, yeah, the arrows came down a little bit quick, because he thought that the opponent wouldn't zap or anything like that. And he was forced to play minions, but the balloon still got 2 shots anyway. So yeah, a nice trade for the opponent, but will that be enough to take down Doom though? Lava to tank for the minions, so that he could place skeletons onto the miner and try to defend. The opponent arrowed the pups, and now Doom can just play minions onto the balloon. And meanwhile, the balloon of his is getting onto the tower and bringing down the tower to 156 HP. Okay, miner to predict the bomber, that was pretty nice. Inferno D on Inferno D action. Minions onto the balloon. The opponent doesn't have the elixir to arrow right away, but the balloon will get a shot after the opponent arrows, but there's no time left for the opponent to do anything. And arrows onto the minion. So yeah, the opponent doesn't have a counterplay. So yeah, pretty nice game against Lava. Okay, on to our next game against Power Strike, who is playing Wallbreaker Drill Cycle with Inferno Tower. This deck is actually the Wallbreaker Cycle with Miner, before the drill comes out. I mean, before the drill came out, and yeah, everyone is switching to drill by replacing the miner. So the opponent's gonna play a fireball as well as the goblin drill. So that was pretty aggressive by the opponent. Skeletons to buy some time for the tower to take down everything, and the opponent does have the Inferno Tower, so it's actually quite annoying for Doom to deal with it, because Doom doesn't have a reset like Zap or Lightning, and he's just gonna let the Valkyrie as well as the Wallbreaker go, and he's gonna set up a gigantic push with the minions as well as the balloon to tank for the Inferno Tower. The bomber will actually take off the spears, and now the balloon will get onto the tower, which is pretty nice. And he decides not to arrow the tower, I mean the bats, because pups as well as the I think the pups will deal with it. So yeah, a very nice decision by Doom to tower trip with Power Strike. Because now he has more option to attack on both lanes if he wants to. But the opponent will go in fairly aggressively with Wallbreaker as well as Valkyrie. Doom will try to defend against it with the Inferno D arrows as well as the minions. And now it's gonna mine onto the King Tower to tank for the minions, so that the minions could do a bit of damage to the tower if the opponent doesn't want to respond to it. When the Inferno D will get pulled by the Valkyrie, and Doom just lavas up once again. Wallbreaker is played anticipating the drill, and arrow comes down, a perfect arrow, hitting both the goblins as well as the wall breakers. And now Doom does have a lot of troops on the field, so things are looking pretty great for him. Minions onto the bats, and the Valkyrie will actually pull one of the minions, but that doesn't matter. Minor onto the Inferno Tower, and now there's nothing stopping the balloon. Fireball comes down, but there won't be enough arrows as well to predict the bats as well as hitting the spears. And yeah, another 3 crown for Doom against very annoying drill cycle. Okay, on to our final game against Wallace. I think you guys all know who Wallace is. He's a very good player, a very talented player in CRL. And yeah, let's see how Wallace falls victim to Doom. So he's actually playing the old meta RG deck with the Ghost as well as the Hunter, which obviously isn't the best version of RG right now because the Hunter isn't in the best spot. So, but yeah, we'll still see how Doom will deal with Wallace, because I mean, a bad player will make a good deck worse, and a good player will make a bad deck good. That's how they say. I'm not too sure about that. But things are looking pretty good for Wallace right now, because the RG will actually take down the tower alongside the Ewis. And meanwhile, there's only a lava onto the right side tower of Wallace. And now Wallace has Hunter selected, but he was probably anticipating the balloon to come down, and Doom was pretty patient with the balloon, and yeah, he decides to pressure balloon and with minor on opposite lane, which will get a balloon hit as well as death damage. Oh, a second hit comes down, so yeah, that was pretty huge for him. So there's now the time is 1 minute and 30 seconds on regulation, and Doom decides to lava once again. And Wallace will actually push into the lava, so that was pretty weird, because Doom can just stack up troops with like Inferno D as well as the bomber. And now he plays a balloon, and a Heal Spirit as well as Ewis comes down to try to kill the balloon as well as the Inferno D. But not before the balloon actually got a shot, because the Ewis was killed and Hunter was targeting onto something else. And the Inferno D was still doing damage, and now he lavas up on the left lane. Minions onto the Ghost, and Hunter is played to counter the lava. And Ewis is played onto the Inferno D because he knew that Doom would play it, and RG comes down to try to take down the tower, because Wallace has to do that in order to survive. But now a balloon in the pocket and a Hunter is played, but the Hunter is actually very slow, and the balloon will actually get a shot onto the tower. Ewis is played as well, but there's 2 bomber and a Inferno D. A panic lock by Wallace, so yeah, that was quite surprising. And Doom just lavas up once again because he's up so much elixir. And Inferno D for the Fisherman to apply pressure as well. Minions onto the Hunter, offside. Fireball onto the lava pops, and a balloon comes down very far away so that it doesn't get targeted by the Hunter or anything. And yeah, Wallace doesn't have the Hunter in hand or the elixir to play it. So yeah, a very nice game to close the video. So yeah, very nice game against Wallace. Okay, I want to thank Doom for coming onto the channel, and he shared some very awesome Lavaloon cycle gameplay. And I know the deck is a bit toxic, as they say, but I still think that it's a very fun deck to play if you want to climb trophies. So yeah, feel free to give it a try, and don't forget to follow Doom on Twitter. And for the last time, this is the deck, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!